Disciple, perhaps.
Vicious and unprovoked assault on my character.
He runs the Japanese segment.
Wait, did you say unprovoked? I don't know about that. Come on, unprovoked.
And we are live, gentlemen.
Does that really mean anything, really?
It does, because I hit a
in
button.
the context of us doing a show.
Because I hit a button and it does something.
So it does. It has meaning. It has deep and powerful meaning. Like words, Evan. Words can hurt people, because if you didn't know,
They can.
Emotional pain triggers the same response in the brain as physical pain. So sticks and stones will break your bones, and words will also hurt you.
You know what else besides words were hurt you, Mick Womble? Liking Instagram posts.
No, that just I've got over that. I've got over the fact that Liam never likes any of my posts, never wants to play games with me anymore, and all he wants to do is liaise with the Japanese chapter head of the global anti-McWomble conspiracy.
Brother Evan?
Brother Evan.
Right, now we've got that garbage out of the way. We are Pixel Pints. We are a group of people from around the world. We are the only global podcast that talks about two things that we enjoy, which is good beer and video games. We're not here to promote drinking. Please drink responsibly, especially at 8:39 in the morning, unless there's a Lions tour on, which may be in Australia rather than South Africa now.
Yeah.
Weird. Thanks, coronavirus. Which we're, the story on BBC main page this morning is that it's probably not going to go anywhere, and we're going to have to live with coronavirus as we do the flu now.
Mm-hmm.
All because of politics, which we don't talk about because there's no politics in video games, or the brewing
Never
industry.
has been.
No. Right, I'll quickly whiz around the room, but we do have a quiz today. So we'll go round the room. Oh, no, so first things first. Please like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter at @pixel_pints and on Instagram, where Liam refuses to like my posts and only like the ones that Evan puts up, which is at @pixelpintspod, where we mainly post about, well, I mainly post pictures of beers, sometimes food, and sometimes stupid shit that happens in Call of Duty Warzone. I forgot there was some really weird shit in. I've sworn already. That's going to mess with the.
We're
YouTube
about a minute
algorithm.
in. It's progress.
That fucking sucks.
There's some really weird shit in Dante's Inferno, which we'll get into on the main topic. But I forgot to clip it. But the game is so mediocre that I'm not going to go back and play through the sections just to clip them so that I can post them because they're that weird.
Funny.
Right, we have Mitch operating OBS today. How's things with Mitch?
It's a regular day in the neighborhood. That's all.
Do you have a man sitting in a fake house with a red jumper?
Wait, what?
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Oh, no. I have King Friday in the corner. He wasn't too bad.
King Friday.
He wasn't very good today. Like, it's because it's actually Saturday, so he no longer belongs here because it's not Friday.
Get the fuck out, Friday. Liam, how's things with you? How's your global conspiracy against me going?
It's very successful so far. I mean, quite frankly, I think I'll be able to live doing this job. You know, it's becoming very profitable.
It's good to hear that I'm helping you out so well.
Oh yeah,
Dan,
absolutely.
The Patreon is very healthy.
The half term's just finished, so I've got a week off holiday, which is nice. So I'm gonna enjoy doing something different to staying at my computer screen all day for a week.
You've got an infant to look after.
I'm looking after my infant, but I might be staring at my TV screen instead. Playing video games.
Instead.
From the computer screen to the TV screen, because there's not much else to do because we're still in lockdown.
Michael, how's things in the Mushroom Kingdom?
Doing fantastic. There's been this light in my house ever since I picked up my copy yesterday. I opened up the game and it's been shining like that. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you.
For someone who's doing great and a light shining on him, you sound a bit
I just woke up.
subdued.
Well, it's also the volume. You might want to stand a little closer when you talk. There you
I
go.
don't know how to fix it. Yeah.
Well, you just gotta stand closer because it's your mic
Right.
on your camera, and your camera's mic is never that good, so you always have to get closer to it than you
Yeah, I
think.
really need to get a new one. I got burned with this one.
And there's someone else on this podcast, a vicious, vindictive individual who engages in unprovoked character assassinations in absentia.
Well done. I'm so proud of him. Excellent member of the Andy McWomble group.
Hey, yeah, I didn't start it. I was merely recruited, so don't blame everything on me. I know it's probably at this point we shouldn't really talk or discuss the weather. However, this will be the only time I'll do it. I've never seen this big of a difference between Kyoto and my hometown of Milwaukee, at least since I've lived here. It is currently 16 degrees in Kyoto and minus 16 degrees in Milwaukee.
Oh wow.
That is the biggest gap that I've ever seen. Tomorrow in Milwaukee, the high is minus 12 and the low is minus 21.
Yeah, there's a polar vortex
It's
in
fucking-
there.
Yeah, my
I was telling
my brother
Mick
in Kansas City is like in the minus 20s. He was
Yeah,
saying.
what did I tell you? What was the temperature, Keith, last Sunday? We were talking about it on Tuesday, the weather, and I said it was negative 30 Fahrenheit, but I didn't know what it was in Celsius. I think it was like negative 12, 13,
16, I think it was.
16. There we
It's
go.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah. Although the air quality is very good, so silver lining.
We can't really compare, but it's minus 3 in Lincoln. So
Well,
it seems like it's cold all over the world.
we just had record-breaking low temperatures in the UK of minus 11. Yeah.
And,
Not in
Mikey-
Scotland.
Mike-
no, Scotland up in
It was
the,
minus 23.6.
yeah, that was it.
Bloody pansies. Yeah, minus
For
11.
Scotland.
I'm doing all right. 19 degrees, can't complain, or 16 rather. Was 19.
Right. Now we've finished talking about the weather. Does anyone have
Sorry.
beers they want to talk about?
I don't have a beer, but I have an interesting beverage I was going to show you that I have now.
Oh, that's
Go
I
for
might
it.
as well. It's carbonated.
Yeah. Evan, you can say the Japanese translation, but this is the Japanese pop I was talking about to you, where there's the marble.
Ramune.
Ramune. So let me rip this off. And what I do is I press. Actually, I think, yeah, it shows it right here. There's a little cork that you push the top part where the marble is into the beverage, and the container holds the marble in the beverage.
For what reason would they do that?
Just to make
Just
it
a
look
gimmick.
fancy. So like
To make it really hard to recycle.
because yeah, exactly. Make it possible to recycle.
So like the marble is right on top. So then all I have to do is, I can't really show me smashing it, but
I want to see one of those
marble.
in the factory how it's made videos.
so then I push it in and the marble is in the beverage.
You're drinking through the marble.
You drink through the marble.
Yeah, it's
That's
like a
odd.
The marble's clean.
What you think? There's no guarantee.
Yeah, so then it has these little like rivets on the side so that when you pour it, it catches the marble so the marble doesn't cover the top, and then you can drink the
or
beverage.
go down your throat and you choke to death.
No,
Yeah.
it can't. The thing's too small. So
Not in the
once you-
first, not in the first trials. It wasn't.
So it has no point. It's just there for show.
So yeah, they have these, and then they have different flavors. So this is just the standard beverage, and then they have different flavors that go with it if you want it. So like there's orange.
So was it just like sparkling water?
No, it's like pop. It's sugary.
Oh, so what's it like? Lemonade? What's it taste like?
This one does.
It is
That
a
was sweet.
weird taste to describe. It is not lemonade. I don't know what
Evan,
how
Evan,
you
have
describe
you? I don't know. Have you ever had the beverage? And I'm going to pronounce it correctly. It's called Balls. It's BAWLS, but it's an energy.
No.
It's an energy beverage, and it tastes exactly like that. And I used to drink a ton of it when I was a kid, and maybe that's what it reminds me of. But it tastes like more like a sports.
Tastes like balls. Okay.
Some nice sweaty balls.
So to be honest, it tastes more like
some 90s advertising slogan there.
It really is. Yeah.
So to be honest, it tastes more like one of those energy drinks, something like a Red Bull, than an actual soda. I would say it tastes more like that. I can't explain it. It's really hard. It's just, you should go buy it and try it and see how it goes. But yeah, that's the fancy marble drink I was talking about a couple months ago. So now you have it.
Is the bottle glass?
The bottle's glass, yeah.
Okay, so then the marble's probably glass. So when you recycle it, it just gets recycled as glass.
I found
the
them on
marble's
Amazon.
glass for sure.
Some smart engineer figured all that out.
What do we need for a random drink? We need a gimmick. Let's put a marble in the top.
It is Japanese. They love their gimmicks. Hey, look at this. Woohoo! Isn't that great? It's from McDonald's.
Oh, did you get a Happy Meal, Alvin? Is that what you tried?
Are you a good boy?
This is like 4 years ago. I did buy a Happy Meal just to get this Mario. And he's on a little brick platform. Come on, that's worth it. Woohoo!
Totally buy that.
All right, so very, very. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mitch.
I was gonna say Keith looked like he had one, but you can go ahead, Evan.
Do you have one, Keith?
Well, he has something behind his head.
I changed the background.
I'll just do mine quickly.
Did you not notice that I changed the background?
No, he doesn't look at your images. He doesn't look at your images. That's why he doesn't like them.
I figured out what Evan does. Is the sticker that normally goes over his camera, he just puts over my face.
Are you referring to this sticker?
The one from last week, where then he goes, right, you can just turn off your screen.
Now you look like you belong on the Blu-ray cover of the movie Parasite.
Just coincidental.
I'll do mine quickly. Speaking of gimmicks, so this is my favorite go-to beer, Kin Ichiban Shibori. But hey, look at this.
Whoa!
I am drinking. Wait, how many milliliters is this? Yeah, so they sell beers in these ridiculously small cans. I have no idea why.
It's like the small soda cans, but the beer version.
The poor child. You're drinking as children.
355 maybe 355 milliliters. This is 135 milliliters. He's so small. He hasn't even gone to nursery school. So
it's one gulp.
That's how you sneak it into your classroom.
Just pour it in.
That's gonna be all head and no beer.
You know how certain
Look at the head on that little thing.
for that.
Switch this around.
Is there any involved in Japanese cuisine?
The bouquet. Oh, this glass is called a Bavarian Seidel, by the way. I've actually never really. I may have drank out of it once, but. Yeah, tastes exactly like
big can.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. Is there any beer involved in any Japanese cuisine? Like, it may be
like cooking with beer?
Yeah. I know some recipes around the world use beer, so maybe.
Oh, Americans use beer all the time with their food. Beer batters. Oh man, yeah.
There is a Nihonshu, a sake drink. Are you familiar with the puffer fish, the one that's really dangerous to prepare, and you can get poisoned if you absorb too much of it? Fugu. There is a sake that is basically you boil the puffer fish, the fugu, in the sake, and then drink it. I've had it before, but you're not cutting the dangerous organs that could possibly be cut open and poison you in it. It's just more boiled. Let me get back to you on that. I'm sure there's a
experience of that, Evan, was the episode of The Symptoms
dish.
Where Homer thought
Yeah,
he was dying.
I remember that.
That was my first experience of that. That's proper fish poison.
Boiling pufferfish in sake. It sounds
dangerous.
like a gimmick.
That's why you gotta
almost like the marble in a drink.
Yeah. Right, so
What do you got, Keith?
I'll move my face out of the way so you can see the label a bit better.
Cooking mechanic in Ghost of Tsushima 2.
It's
Electric
Boogaloo.
Electric
Boogaloo.
Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo from Tiny Rebel Brewing, which is the only good thing to come out of Wales.
Hey, my name is Welsh.
Sorry.
Oh, like you said, the only.
Like you said, the only thing to come on.
This is a passion fruit New England style IPA, and it was very nice. 4.5% ABV. And I was surprised with this random box of stuff that I'm getting every month. I'm surprised at the number of beers that I think I'm going to find disgusting that I actually like. So this was another one that's like passion fruit New England style IPA. I'll believe it when I.
That does not sound like you would like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like the grapefruit one that I had from New York a couple of months ago. So yeah, it's interesting doing this. Because there have been some that I've actually they've gone straight down the drain, but they're mainly kind of weird flavored stouts that taste like I'm drinking coffee. So,
yeah, if you don't like coffee, stouts are those types of experimental stouts will definitely be hit or miss.
So that's what I had, and then the other one I posted on Instagram, which Liam obviously hasn't liked. Was the photograph's gone. Oh, what a shame! But it's Marston's Pedigree, and I put the post on there because the guy in the Marston's Pedigree bottle looks the spitting image of Archer.
Sterling Archer.
How do you spell that?
What? Marston's Pedigree? Marston.
Mast. Okay.
Marston and then apostrophe S. And then Pedigree.
All right. Does anybody have any more beers?
No, nothing this week. I'll have some next week because it's my week off. So I'll be trying to catch up on all the drink I haven't been drinking.
All right.
So you're going to be drinking at 8 o'clock in the morning? Potentially.
Not today. If someone else was, but I know Evan is, but he's not 8 o'clock in the morning.
Not so fast, McWomble. I think next week's show may not be at our usual time.
Okay.
So it might be a more evening for you or afternoon.
Good. That's good because I'm working tomorrow next week.
I want that guy.
Oh, I can't do it then.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm busy next Saturday.
It really does.
It's not Saturday. It's on Sunday.
Oh,
That's great. Nice.
We have a comparison. That's a really nice beer. Marston's make really good beers.
That really does look like him, doesn't it? That's like a realistic version of Archer.
Yeah,
that's
it does look really close.
It does,
Yeah, that's really good.
So because there's no more
some
beers, Keith, you know what that means?
It's quiz time.
Oh shit!
Quiz time.
So nervous, sweating.
So if you probably should look at the graphics so you can see all the scores because it is currently 2 versus 2.
Yep, and since this is the second quiz of the year, the topic is the years 1992 and 1994.
The best years. I love those 2 years.
If you don't understand this reference, please go to the first quiz of the year so you can understand what happened.
Just going to say, I am a little bit disadvantaged in that I was born in 1995.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, you know what?
I think I deserve a handicap.
No, you know what? Liam, they're talking to a guy that was born in 1993. I'm right in between.
Well, that's bad for us, Evan, because we're both born before those 2 years, and so if we lose, that's poor.
Right, so we've got Mitch. You need to choose of the remaining 2 guests who aren't part of the team. Who would you like? And then we'll tack on the afterthought, which I'm guessing you're going to go with Michael because he knows more about actual video games, and Liam knows more about what's going on in the games industry, seemingly.
My question I just have one question for each of them, which was, how awake are you right now?
I am. I just had coffee.
Okay, Liam.
I mean, I wake up at this much earlier than this most of the time. So I'm fine.
Going with Liam.
I mean,
He doesn't need
Oh,
the
really?
coffee. He doesn't
he
need the
just
coffee.
said that he has a handicap because he was born in '95. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean-
He might know his history. You never know.
Well, I don't purposefully ask questions that I know people aren't going to get. So they're written in a way that if you know some history, you might be able to answer or guess. It's all a bit of fun, except that it's not. It's really fucking serious because there's good
Lives are
things
on the
happen when
line.
people win quizzes.
Oh, my Mario.
Right, so the years were chosen as such. So I said to my wife, pick a number between 1 and 5. She chose 3. And I said, who do you want that to go to? And she said, Mitch. So even numbers were 92 and odd numbers were 94. So Evan and Dan, your questions are from 1992. Mitch, yours are for 1994.
Oh,
Oh,
at least
nice.
I was 1 year old when it happened. That's good.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
I was born when it
So-
happened.
That's
You've
minus 1.
obviously played these games.
You were
Okay,
maybe
and
conceived in that year. I don't know what month you're born.
we don't want to talk about Liam's conception. Maybe we'll do that off stream.
It's an after show. It's just-
Right, so Team Devon, we'll start with you.
Okay.
Your first question, and I'm just going to run through, there's 4 questions each. Right, what helicopter-based shoot 'em up was released by EA in 1992? And I'll give you a hint. I'll give a hint. Well, you should know this one because it was quite famous and popular and based on a major conflict.
I got my dad's PC.
There's no stealing, right?
No,
Okay. And what's the time limit on this, so I can keep track of time for a buzzer in my mind?
This is not my answer, but I was gonna say Vietnam '92. I'm just kidding. That is not my answer.
Wasn't it to do with something? Wasn't it to do with something about? It wasn't Conflict Desert Storm, but wasn't that something similar? Was it some desert-based helicopter?
I've seen
game?
this. I've seen this game. I've seen the arcade. I just don't know the name.
I think
It's weird
Operation
if you saw-
Desert Storm.
No,
that was
that's
the name
later
of
on. That was like a Soka.
no.
was a-
Operation Desert Storm was the
Rated on
name of the
Was the
invasion
name?
of Iraq.
Yeah, that's true. That is all. That's true.
What am I thinking of? Operation.
Desert.
Shit.
I think it says desert in the name.
10 seconds.
Yeah, come
Oh
on,
yeah,
get on
that's
with
right.
it.
There's a
I'm
comment.
giving you 30 seconds apiece, basically, and I have a timer below me. 3,
Then
2, 1.
Desert Storm. I think Evan. I'm doing it.
Oh, that sucks.
You must
Right,
answer.
Liam, do you want to tell them what it was?
Desert Strike.
It was Desert Strike. So
That
no
was
points for that one. Evan and Dan, your next question. Sonic the Hedgehog, Super Mario for Game Boy, Dune, and Streets of Rage all have what in common in 1992?
Sonic the Hedgehog, Dune, and
Super
Mario.
Mario for Game Boy and Streets of Rage all had what in common in 1992?
Oh,
did you say Doom?
Dune.
Dune.
June. D-U-N-E.
Oh.
15 seconds.
They all had a hand. Well, you did say Game Boy. I was gonna say they all had a handheld release.
What were the games again?
They're all in Game Gear. No, you said Game, but you said
10
for the Game
seconds.
Boy, right?
Either handheld release or a 2D, but that seems very obvious.
You just want to say they all had handheld releases, but he did specifically say one handheld release. But that's all I got.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
Would anyone else like to have a guess?
Is it because they all have film adaptations? Well,
No,
that
they all
doesn't
had
work, 'cause
sequels.
Dune isn't.
They all had
Ah,
sequels.
Sequels.
Okay.
Interesting.
Oh.
So Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Super Mario 2 for the Game Boy, Dune 2, and Streets of Rage 2 all came out in 1992.
I did not know there were more than
Oh,
one.
I-
2
I
for
did
2.
not understand that question.
1992, 2. I see what they did
Right.
there.
Next
Good
one.
question.
Which cartoon spacefaring rabbit got his first video game action platform release for the NES in 1992?
Captain Bucky O'Hare.
It was Bucky O'Hare.
Yes.
Nice.
I watched that cartoon back in the day.
2 points. And your last question: Indiana Jones, Batman, and the Addams Family all had games released in 1992, but why is Indiana Jones different from the others?
It was an arcade release.
Is that your final answer?
Dan, do you know?
No, that's a quite nice.
Did you
answer.
say Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom?
No, I just said Indiana Jones, Batman, and the Addams Family all had games released in 1992, but why is Indiana Jones different?
Maybe did it have a tagline in the name? Whereas the others were just in Anna's Family, whereas Indiana Jones was Indiana Jones and something or not. Just
Well, I do know that
like
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom did have a arcade release, and that's the only thing I can go on. That's the only reason
sure.
I would think that one stands out. The Addams Family did have a pinball game, but do you want to go with that? I don't have anything else that's different.
It's good,
Yeah.
but it's wrong.
Damn
Is it that
Is it
Indiana
Indiana-
Jones was not a
yeah.
side-scrolling?
No,
Oh,
so
no,
that's
it
good.
wasn't based on a film.
Yes, well done, Liam.
Based on the film, it was just Indiana. Okay.
Really?
So-
They just did Indiana Jones. That I would never
It was
get
Indiana Jones and the what is it?
something of the something.
Something.
Yeah.
It was a point. It was a
Okay.
point. It was a point-and-click adventure game.
Ah, shit.
Right.
All right.
So, Mitch, your questions for you and Liam. Which Warner Brothers cartoon trio got their first video game released in 1994?
Animaniacs?
Is correct.
God damn it! That's what a solid start. I was gonna say the Three Stooges for some reason.
No, Animaniacs.
Sorry, Liam. Last time I listened to someone else, I lost points. So
Oh no! I had that answer in my head as well.
okay, good.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay, question 2. Which sci-fi film franchise crossover side-scroller had its arcade release in 1994 to critical acclaim?
Sorry, say it one more time.
Which sci-fi film franchises crossed over into a side-scroller that had its arcade release in 1994 to critical acclaim?
Alien versus Predator.
I was thinking Star Trek.
I might know this one. I don't know.
Or no, maybe it was Star Wars.
A crossover though. It has to be. Two
Oh,
different
crossover,
franchises.
never mind.
Yeah, I think Liam could be right.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. Alien.
Yeah, it seems possible they would have done it before. Like,
Are you saying it's an Alien and Predator? So like, wait, are we supposed to name what the crossover is, or just which one? Sorry.
The crossover is the name of the game.
Yeah.
Okay. So Alien versus Predator. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's just do
anything I
that.
can
Alien
think
versus
of.
Predator.
Is correct.
Nice job,
Yeah,
Liam.
that's what I'd have gone with. 2 for 2.
One of
Yay, I'm selling my
the
work.
best beat 'em ups.
So Evan, it seems like 94 knowledge in my head was better than 92. So that's the way the questions fall.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. We'll get another day.
Right. Question 3. Warcraft had a RTS Dune clone release in 1994. What was it called?
Doom clone. Might that just be StarCraft? No.
I've never played. I
Doomcraft-
have no
Doomcraft.
idea. I have no knowledge of StarCraft. This is on you, Liam.
A
War
Dune
Dune.
clone. Could you say the question again?
Yeah.
Warcraft had a Dune clone RTS release in 1994. What was it called?
So it is from the people that make Warcraft because it's a war.
Wait, so you're saying it is Warcraft? McWilliam, you're saying it's Warcraft, and what's the subtitle of Warcraft?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, so
Are you
it
timing
is a
yourself,
Warcraft
by
game.
the way?
Yes, I am. We have 15
Okay,
seconds.
Just checking.
We've been answering
we
a
have,
lot quicker.
15 seconds.
I use the timer of the
Just
music to
kidding.
time everybody.
I don't know any of the subtitles, Mitch, so I was just thinking
I know.
StarCraft.
Should we just go like Lost in Space?
No, because it's going to be wrong. So.
Let's just go Lost
No,
in Space.
Just
because
say
it's gonna be
StarCraft.
wrong.
Well, it's Warcraft Orcs and
Orcs and
Humans.
Humans. Yeah, they remastered it recently. Warcraft. I played all the RTS Warcraft games. Fuck me, 94 was a good year for me. Fuck.
92 was a good year for me.
You're even born.
Last question. Castlevania had a release in 1994 called Vampire Killer in Japan and Europe. What is it more commonly known as?
Was that one? That one's in Symphony of the Night. Is it
It was
Symphony Night?
it was the one that came before Symphony of the Night. I'm pretty sure. I can't think of the name of it. It recently got re-released in that collection along with Symphony of the Night. I'm pretty sure. It's like.
It's not Resurrection. I know it's something like Revenge or something like that because
Yeah,
Dracula comes back.
I'm
It's
pretty
like
sure it's somebody's something.
Revengeance. No.
It's Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid. Okay, I'm just gonna shoot a name, Liam. Is that okay, or do you got one in mind?
I was literally just thinking like Gumbo's Pope or something.
Revenge of Dracula?
Is wrong.
Return of Dracula.
Evan done.
Wait, you said, is it? No, it can't be Rondo of Blood.
Rondo of
Dracula
Blood.
X Rondo
That was
of
what I
Blood.
was thinking of.
That's not
It's
it.
Castlevania Bloodlines.
Bloodlines.
Oh, it's
No,
coming
I
out.
was not on that at all.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
All right.
I didn't
well,
know that one, so I'm happy with.
In
knowing
the
three
end,
of them.
scores.
We got 2, they got 4.
Yeah.
So that means
6-2 with Mitch in the lead.
6 and
4.
4. You mean?
Oh, whatever. Evan's gonna. I'm gonna contrive it so Evan loses because he made fun of my balls.
That's a contrivance I like.
I never made fun of your balls. I just said the balls on this man. That's neither negative nor positive. Obviously, you took it as
There was
such.
something conveyed in your tone.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. That is important. Tone is important.
6-4 and more quizzes to come. Thank you. Good night.
Oh, very nice. I like that the quizzes are really hard and we'll get most of them wrong. Either
Yeah.
team. I like that.
Right. So, shall I introduce our topic?
Yes. Sorry.
Right,
Is
so-
before we start, is there a hard out for anybody that we need to know about?
Yeah, Evan, is there a hard out for you?
Yeah, I got a
20
hard
minutes?
out. I got a massive hard out in 20 minutes. So,
Okay.
I actually didn't know what the topic was till we started, so I don't have anything off the top of my head. So I'll just kindly listen while you guys.
That's
Thank
so
you for
considerate
kindly
of you, Evan.
listening.
Jibber jabber. Okay.
Yeah. I shouldn't have done this. Like anything you're
Just
saying
move it.
doesn't
Oh, okay,
matter.
Jabba.
Sorry, I shouldn't have. I'm sorry. That was the wrong gesture.
So,
Sorry.
when I was playing through a certain game on Game Pass, this one, thanks to Game Pass, I thought I'd go back and revisit some games that I never played, and Dante's Inferno was one. And it made me think, oh my God, to the end of this game, they either ran out of ideas or they needed to rush this game out to release.
Second one.
So I thought, what's that?
It is an EA game after all. It's the stamp of
Yeah,
approval.
well, there may be an interesting connection to the next game that I'm going to talk about. But so it started making me thinking, right, are there other games, are there other signs within games or warning signs prior to release that a game is being rushed? And in this one in particular, so anyone who doesn't know, you go through the layers of hell to try and save your wife. Except playing the end of this game is its own version of hell, because the levels start off as being really interesting. The enemy designs are really fucking weird. So much so that at one point I actually scared my wife because I went, "What the fuck is that?" When in the circle of lust, you fight women with blades for fingers, but at certain points they will bend backwards and a scorpion tail will come out of their nether regions and attack you with it.
Oh.
So
I remember that.
that's really weird. And then you fight Cleopatra at the end of that level, who has holes in her nipples in which blade arm babies come out of, and she throws them onto the ground to fight you.
Yes, of course.
So they must have had some really, really wacky ideas. But as you go through the game, it gets more and more repetitive, and eventually it just ends up in a recycled map of challenge rooms. And at that point, I thought, fuck this game. I'm going to turn it off, delete it, and I don't care if he rescues his wife.
The end.
So you've gone from kind of over the top monsters. You fight a giant version of your dad who's in the world of gluttony, and he's now lost the use of his hands, and they turned into mouths so that he can consume more. And then you've just created a challenge room at the end. It's like, what went wrong? Where did all your ideas go? I found that hugely disappointing, and no wonder this gets compared to as a mediocre version of God of War.
I mean, they definitely need to try this idea again, because I played this game. I didn't finish it, but I started reading the books, and I think I was. When did this game get released? Like 10 years ago? 15?
10 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, like it was then, so I didn't understand crap of the books. But like the idea was there. It was interesting what they were trying to do with it, but not like that. Bad implementation.
So, Liam, do you know whether this game was rushed out or not?
Well, it's from EA, so I presume so, to be quite frank. This was during the period where they're rushing out all of their games. They'd always set hard release dates months in advance, and they would always hit those release dates. There'd never be any delays. It was
No
EA,
matter what.
They did the same to all of their fucking games. It's just
I don't think it was rushed. I think they had like this specific frame in which they built their games. Right? They didn't want to put too much effort into those games. So
it seems like they put tons of effort into the early stages, and then the last stage is just repetitive challenge maps, all in the same environment. And so, for me, as Evan would say,
that is ruined every time I say for me. For the rest of my life, yeah. I can't get it out of my head.
This is a major sign that a game has had to be rushed. Is that all the qualities at the front? It's like putting go faster stripes on a spoiler on a Skoda. Everything's made to look nice, but underneath it's not really working very well.
That
I like how you explain that, because there is a big gap in everyone.
If there's one team I would love to try to do this game again, Ninja Theory.
Yeah, I mean, they have the ability to make a solid fighting system in a single player game.
Oh, I think of just because of their creative wits in regards to making the layers of hell and the creativity they could do with that. I think they're one studio that could do that over again.
Do you think if the developers of Hellblade did that, they could actually make a game that made people go mad?
Pretty much.
Oh God, yeah. If they did that and you're going through each layer, yeah, that would be a dark game.
A trip through hell.
So that's your one sign. I got another sign for you that if a game is it's getting rushed. When we see the announcement trailer for it 10 years ago, and we don't see the first gameplay until 6 months it comes out, that's exactly when you hit it.
Yeah.
Case in point, let's go Anthem. Case in point, let's go Avengers. Also,
they were like making that playable demo up until like E3 started. I mean, that's rushed. That's actually rushed. Like they didn't even know what the game was going to be.
It wasn't even real. It was.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just... fucking
I
false
mean, very
advertising.
close to release, they were showing like in those videos, in those events they were doing, like it was really close to release, and they were still showing fabricated footage, like concept footage stuff you'd show maybe 2 or 3 years before actual release at E3 behind closed doors. So they were like, it was really bad because they were relying on footage they had prepared for journalists closed door. Like that's atrocious. That's really worrying.
The more they hide, the more you feel like they're rushing the darn thing.
Yeah. They bluffed it until the very moment of release. I mean, that's crazy. That's
Sorry, Miguel, here's another adjustment to it. Also, I think you'll love this one. If it comes out before March.
Well, this is what I've just flashed up. So I flashed up a screenshot of Mass Effect Andromeda, which
Hey, that's the one that came to mind actually when I was thinking of what I could say. Yeah.
So this is another sign of something's being rushed. Is the Q4 release date, and specifically the March release date.
It goes from Q4 to only March to March. It's Q4 to March.
Come hell or high water, this is
getting
coming
released before the end of the fiscal year.
No matter what. Will they ever learn? I don't know.
Well, did you know that even Mass Effect 2 and 3 were also rushed, as well as Andromeda, although to varying degrees of success. Yeah.
If this game had an extra 3-4 months, I think that would have done it the world of good. But the insistence that it come out before
bug fixing?
Bug
fixing? Or?
I mean, there's nothing then they could have done about the god awful story and the repetitive monsters across different biomes, which makes absolutely no sense in a galaxy.
It wouldn't have been memed into
oblivion,
a shallow grave, That's for sure.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's the March release date is a big warning sign. If a game's coming out in March, particularly from EA, beware.
Or it gets moved to March.
You know, I never thought of that. Isn't it actually a really fucking good sign that they moved the Mass Effect Legendary Collection to May?
Yeah, that is. Now I'm hopeful.
Same with everything this year has been pushed back past March, which is good. Actually, it means they're not rushing it for the fiscal.
It's like EA have realised one more mistake and we can't make any more of these games.
Well, EA should worry that if they'd made another mistake with the Star Wars game, they wouldn't be able to make very many games.
No.
Another sign would be that the rushness to release of a game is directly proportional with the day one patch.
Yeah.
So.
And how big that day one patch is.
The bigger the size of that day one patch, the bigger the concern.
And also
the rush to get on disc.
Erebus Jones mentioned that in chat, and the first thing that came to my mind was, and I'm not just doing this because I want to talk about Mass Effect all the time, Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3's day one patch was nearly as big as the whole game install.
I remember that.
I didn't remember
It took ages to install. So exciting. Waiting for that all to download.
So the game would install. And it's like, can I play it now? No, you can't. No, you've got to install, I think it was 18 gigs.
Yeah, which was a lot.
Which now, that's just a Call of Duty update.
Yeah, no. Well,
to be truthfully honest, when you think about it too, it's like technically they're releasing these games almost completely unplayable. Because you need because you need the day one patch. But if you can't get the day one patch, say you took it on with you to go to vacation and you didn't do the day one patch when you took it to your cabin and you don't have internet there for some reason because some rural places don't, and you all of a sudden start playing the game, you're like, what the? Where's the head of my character? It's like on their.
Where's the third of the map?
Oh, there's just blocks. They're not even textured. There's just blocks. There was a thing from Mass Effect 3 where the character
Javik wasn't actually on the disc.
Yeah,
Are you
he was a
serious?
DLC.
He was
Oh
a
my
DLC
God.
character, but you could only get him through the day one patch.
Yep, exactly.
So
Yeah.
you
It's
a
had
huge
to
part of
have
that
you had to
game.
have the patch to play the game with him in it.
He's actually
That's
not that
the-
huge part of the game if you play without him.
That's the thing, though, Keith. Like, did you know that and the Leviathan DLC in Mass Effect 3 were supposed to be parts of the game?
Yeah, the
and-
Leviathan thing not being in the game and then playing it later in
Yeah.
the story is really odd. It's quite jarring, actually.
Because it has a lot of like important
Context to where the Reapers
Yeah,
came from.
exactly. And it was the same thing with Mass Effect 2. Like, apparently, like the Zaid and Kasumi DLCs and the Lair of the Shadow Broker were supposed to be in the game.
Well, I can kind of see with those because you can play those elements of the story.
Yeah, it works better, but it
Yeah.
was meant to be in the game.
Well,
But then how would EA make any money? Because Mass Effect was never going to sell enough games to actually make the money, so they had to cut out elements of the game so they could
that's not
sell it
necessarily
separately.
true. Mass Effect was
Remember
one of
the Cerberus
its,
parts?
was one of the biggest commercial successes in regards to EA games since their sports franchises. I mean,
I know
they were
I'm
doing
making a
amazing.
point about hiving off content so that you
Oh.
can sell it separately.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He was. Yeah,
And it's funny because you name your
I didn't
season
sense the
pass after
sarcasm.
the evil organization.
Some
within your
people
game.
don't. I don't know. I do
The,
sarcasm so well that no people don't actually realise I'm being sarcastic.
That's how you know you're doing it well. I was going to say, at what point though? How many gigabytes do you think in today's market is acceptable for a day one patch? Because they're always going to
Oh,
have
180, gotta be.
for it to be not a rushed out release. That's what I meant. For not
I
being
wouldn't-
rushed out, how many gigs?
I wouldn't attach it
So-
to like a certain gig. I would attach it to the percentage of the game's gigabyte. So like how large
Yeah.
the game is, and then what percentage of it is it equal to that or equal to. So I would say like as long as it's no larger than 1/3 the size of what the game's original
That's
game
quite
size
so
is.
33% of the game.
Yeah, then if it's up to 50, then you're like, and then you're like 75. You're like, what do we have here?
Now the reason why I asked
I
that was
could agree
because
with that.
I was just because we're talking about this, I was curious to look what the day one patches were for Sony's 2 first party exclusives last year. And Last of Us came in at 4 gigs, and Ghost of Tsushima came out at 7.7 gigs.
Yeah,
Wow.
So I was just wondering what gigabyteage was. I think day one patches are inevitable because they're always going to keep on working onto the game up until launch day. And unlike back in the day where you just had the disc and there was no internet connection, so it had to work or had to be broken. There was no fixing it after the fact. They kind of use the fact they can fix it up until release day, even if the discs have been written already.
Yeah, but I think that's the beautiful part of what Sony first party does with their studios is they let them finish the game till it's finished. And then that way the day one patch isn't as extreme because they're working on little bugs, not huge fixes that they're like, oh my God, this entire AI structure is not fully done yet, but we have to hit it in March. And it's like, no, like if you looked at the documentary, God of War jumped another release date without people knowing it jumped another release date because technically they didn't come out with a trailer to give the final release date until they jumped it one more time. So actually it was supposed to come out in like March, but then it got moved to April. So, but we didn't know that because there was no trailer to announce the release date until after they got that approved April date. So, you know, there's things like that in the background where it's like, that's why it's so small.
I mean,
I'm
wonder
surprised that
how
no one's
many-
mentioned Cyberpunk yet.
Sorry, I also just wanted to point out that Sony are like that with every game, except for Days Gone.
Oh yeah, Days Gone. Yeah, Days Gone's rough. Yeah. But I would say even that day one patch isn't that big. I think it was only like maybe 1/3 of the size. It was definitely bigger in comparison to other ones, but
I'll have a
still,
look.
compared to
True.
other companies, it's not as big.
But it probably should have been bigger.
Mine worked fine.
wonder-
I didn't run into many
wonder how many-
glitches for how much of my glitch.
Neither did I, but I guess a lot of people did. So
I wonder how
Michael,
many
go for it.
not in the habit of connecting their console to the internet, like just buying these games and playing them as is, like without ever thinking of connecting their. No.
Well, for
I
those
imagine-
people, there's the Xbox 360.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know guy in a military sub, but Xbox 360 is the way to go.
Yeah. that's mortifying, playing all your games without a day one patch. I mean,
That's how my dad plays his games because he doesn't connect
So-
his console to the internet, so he plays it based off of disc only.
So Days Gone
No.
installed at 67 gigs, and the day one patch was 23.3 gigs.
So 1/3,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
right
that
there,
was-
1/3.
Just on the cusp.
Just on the bordering of ooh. But that game is massive for like people don't underestimate. That game is huge. That game's
Oh.
the story mode is over 60 hours and you don't expect it.
Can I
It's
tell you
long.
how
It's shocking
refreshing
long.
it is that a few months after that game released, they just released a patch that basically cut the game's like the amount it takes up on your hard drive like in half. So it got
Jesus.
reduced down to 34 gigabytes or something because they went and recompressed the game like after they had finished it. I wish some other developers could take note. Call of Duty. just saying.
Well, you need another console.
For just
Come
Call
on,
of
like
Duty.
me. Like me.
Get
I've got
multiple
my Xbox for
Series S's.
I've got my Xbox for my multiplayer games, and I've got my PlayStation for my Sony first party, which I won't be buying because the fucking bastards have upped the price to fucking 70 quid. The bastards.
I knew it.
So I had to
I knew
mention that
this was
today's
coming.
episode.
Got
I've
it.
been calling it all along, and it came true. Wow.
nice segue into the second topic of this episode.
Stay on topic.
Anyone else got any
I could talk
worrying
about
signs?
Cyberpunk, but I didn't play it, so I can't really
Well,
comment.
I think there's the sign that it's
Enough
being
out there.
rushed is potentially the fact that its release date got moved 3 times in the same
yeah,
year.
no. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
I do
the
have
fact
one that I've thought of the top of my head. And,
Oh, thanks for engaging with the show.
oh, you're welcome.
Right before he has to leave too.
I'm sorry.
Can I make a noise?
Can you make noise?
Yeah.
Well, I keep it to a minimum.
Is she gonna
Like,
wash
what?
things in front of you again?
I don't. You're not vacuuming, are you? Are you vacuuming? Oh, you're not. Okay.
They have no idea. Now he's left.
It's okay. All right.
It's,
Games-
It's at
So-
home with Evan and his wife.
Yeah, it's like the dysfunctional family Simpsons version of WandaVision, which I haven't seen, so I don't know how accurate that is. But
Which also I
Um,
was gonna say we do have to do a spoiler talk about WandaVision once it's all over with. So
That'd be fun.
yeah, you guys have at it. One thing that I thought of, and I don't know necessarily if this is a sign that a game was rushed, but a game like New Super Mario Brothers 2 for the 3DS, in which all they did is think of an extra gimmick, which was lots of coins. Did anyone play this game or remember this? Where
I
the
didn't
whole
play it,
gimmick
but
of the
I
game
remember.
was
Play it.
so it's basically like the new Super Mario Brothers U style of
No.
very dull, uninspired 3D models of the Nintendo characters we've grown to know and love, or the Super Mario characters in 2.5D side-scrolling platforming. So they had the game for, I believe, the Wii and the Wii U, and then they made one for the 3DS, and the main hook was you collect
Oh yeah,
You don't collect
I
just
have it. I played through that. That was very
coins,
fun.
you collect more coins. And the whole
Yeah,
hook of the game was just a ton of coins. And that just sounds, it's either lazy or rushed or both. So it's one of those things. And everyone panned the game for being lazy, and the hook was not enough to keep the game interesting enough. So
What,
I mean,
bribery of
I didn't feel it was cheap because I enjoyed it. Like, I mean, it really had its moments. I would have to replay it because that was so long ago. But because I was
Okay.
when I got it, I was thinking, well, so many coins, that would mean like a lot of one-ups, right? And that would make the game so easy. But the platforming was still good. So I don't really remember if you were doing anything with those coins. If
there
you
was
were-
there's something like if you get a million coins, something happens in the game. It's probably like if you get 999 moons in Odyssey, a giant top hat comes down and lands on the castle, and there's fireworks. Joyous day. I'm glad I spent 90 hours playing this game so I could see a top hat land on the castle and fireworks. What is it with Nintendo and disappointing fireworks?
They don't even
Remember
have
the Wii U?
achievements that you can mark your successes by, you know, because
that would be, you know,
accomplishment needs a fucking trophy to go.
What a
"Look, I'm
novel
just sad
idea."
enough to do all of this.
I thought you were going to
Okay.
say something else. Like, what is it with Nintendo and trolling us when we spend 90 hours collecting Korok scenes and they give us a golden shit?
Yeah, they do like doing that. I swear there are some people there that, I mean, their legitimate goal is to fuck with people, and no one's saying anything because they're just head over and heels with the company. They think that a company is their best friend. Yeah, well, companies are people, right? Mitt Romney said so one time, I think.
Oh, Mitt.
It's all Miyamoto.
I
Behind that smile is an evil facade.
got one final one
Behind
for you,
that
Keith,
smile.
that
guy is just fucking...
I got one final one for you, Keith. You ready for it? A game is rushed when the review code is only on PC.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Very good.
That's a telltale sign.
Or when it's really, really late.
Or when they say the game was done, when it really wasn't done.
Oh, you're talking about CD Projekt Red again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yes.
You know when a game's not done? When it's CG Project Red.
When it's Cyberpunk 2077, that's when a game's not done.
No. We ain't talking about just Cyberpunk 2077. We're talking about The Witcher 1, The Witcher 2, The Witcher 3, and Cyberpunk 2077.
Are we going to say that now people are going to jump off CD Projekt Red's high horse and actually appreciate the game for what it comes out, like how they release games is horrendous? I'm not saying it won't be in a good place eventually.
They've got enough apologists that they're not going to worry about it.
Yeah,
I didn't think they would.
Yeah. You know, a game's rushed when you walk out of a door and your horse is doing push-ups on top of the building next to you. That's when you know a game is rushed.
Or your horse bucks you off and decides to do horse yoga on the edge of a cliff.
Hey, when you gotta work out, you gotta work out. There's, you know, he had the schedule, and fuck Geralt.
You know a game is rushed when you're waiting on the game to be patched for a second revision to a console in the hopes that it actually finally fucking works.
I love how we're turning this into now a joke type thing of like,
you know a game's rushed.
You know when a game is rushed is when...
It's been a joke all along.
You know when a game is rushed when McWomble gives you the look of like, are you freaking done yet?
And I guess that's why we should all be waiting on games and giving some sweet, tender love to our backlog. You know.
Well, it's just end on a high note.
Positive one.
Get them for cheap, right? After so many patches, you know.
And by that point, the game won't cost £70 anymore. The filthy, thieving, greedy bastards.
That's the thing. I think I would be less upset about the game price if, like, actually, and this is why Nintendo is a bit cheeky, but also I kind of respect it to a business point of view. Their games never go down in value. So I feel like if I pay £70 on day one, it's gonna like Matt said in chat, it's gonna be £70 in a year's or 2 years time. So I might as well buy it on day one. Whereas with all these games, I wait a month and it's half the price, or it's like 35 quid or whatever. So why would I pay 70 quid on day one when it's depreciated the minute I've taken out the store?
Imagine this thing. Ratchet and Clank released like this one, Rift Apart, actually released on PS4, and it had no ray tracing. And every time you'd go through a portal, there would be a loading time. Now, just because of that warrants $10 extra dollars or pounds, only because of that. I
mean, Sony are charging
simplifying it a little bit too much there.
Yeah, Sony are also charging the same amount for games that are cross-compatible between generations, like Sackboy. they charged £70 for the PlayStation 5 version and the PlayStation 4 version.
Yep.
They charged 70 for that?
Yep.
That game?
Yeah.
That Super Mario 3D World fucking ripoff.
They were going to do it for Destruction All Stars as well.
And they realised they should release that for free.
I mean, Destruction All Stars is free only this month but can you actually buy it? Is there anywhere?
No, it doesn't come out for general sale until the end of April. When it finishes on two months.
Then it will still cost $70.
Supposedly, right? But I don't think they surely. But who knows? Obviously,
that's insane. That's
stupider things have happened.
Yeah,
Sackboy, fucking Sackboy. What a piss take.
It's a shame as well because I've heard it's a really good game, but there's like no way you're going to pay £70.
No, absolutely not.
I have a feeling they're going to run out of PlayStation 5 games, Liam, and it'll end up coming free to Game Pass. Not Game Pass to PlayStation Plus.
Probably.
So I'll hold on that, and you probably will play it for free.
It's like the same thing with Returnal. I mean, I would buy that day one if it wasn't for it being £70.
I know.
Yeah.
They are betting on people absolutely needing software for their new console right then and there. Like, I really need new games.
I think even though I'd have been sad, I could have got on board with $59.99 for a game because I've been paying $40 to $53 on this current gen first fun day. I could have dealt with the £10 increase, but basically for me a £20 increase is fucking ridiculous. I know in some places you were paying the higher price, but you could get it cheaper. But I'm gonna need to shop around and see what these games actually come out as. I know they're saying £70, but fucking hell, that's ridiculous.
I'm just never buying a game day one ever again.
Yeah, no,
I can't.
Did any of you see Nintendo putting their game prices up?
Are they?
Well, no, hopefully not. But it is a possibility.
It's funny because
isn't it?
in the beginning, all these publishers were rumored to increase their prices, and then you got Sony, and just going for it.
I mean, they all want to. They're just testing the waters.
Take Two said that all of theirs are going to, and then who came after Take Two that said that they were going to do it, and now Sony have just said Activision, and then Sony have just gone, well, if those two are doing it, we'll do it.
Yeah. Someone pulls the trigger, it gives everyone the excuse.
Ubisoft said in their latest earnings call that we're thinking about it.
It's like, well, don't say that. Don't say why would you say that? Just do it or don't. The fuck?
Basically, they're hoping because other people got shat on for it, then they can get away with just doing it.
Well, do you know what's really shocking?
We've gone off topic.
No.
That is not shocking.
Never shocks
me. That is actually not shocking.
Never shocks me. Is that Resident Evil Village is $60 on PS5.
Great.
Confirmed. $60. It is not going to 70.
If only Capcom rubbed off on Konami, then maybe we'd have a better world in the future.
There's some deviant art for you.
Oh God. All right, actually, I'm 10 minutes over my massive hard out, so I'm just going to say goodbye to all of you.
Well, I was going to say we're out anyways.
You can just turn the camera off.
Okay.
Yeah, so gentlemen, we are out.
All right. I fucking hate these motherfuckers. Jesus Christ, I can't wait to get off this goddamn fucking podcast every fucking month. What a waste of 4 hours. Jesus Christ. Oh. Shit. Someone shoot me, please.